Fortnite's storyline is back. The gods of Olympus are waging war on the island, and it's here you'll find prophecies, an upcoming apocalypse, and the return of a character we all thought was gone. This is everything you need to know, which started all the way back on March 2nd. The ground started shaking, and out of nowhere, the flaming hand of a titan was revealed. It broke free from underneath the surface, covered in chains, and presented us with Pandora's box. This ancient Greek item was a gift from the gods, except it was more of a curse, unleashing all of the world's evil. Knowing this, we still decided to smash the chains and broke the box apart. This set free a vortex full of trapped souls, along with the rest of ancient Greece. As we come to grips with this new world, the king of the gods looks down from his throne at Mount Olympus. Zeus is furious with humanity for releasing this evil. In fact, he is so angry that he decides to unleash his wrath upon the mortals, and he's already begun this crusade by going after the society. The secret organization from last season were at war with Agent Jones and the Underground. They were using medallions to gain control of the island. Turns out that these belonged to the gods and were a fraction of their power. As punishment, the gods have returned the favor, wiping out the society one by one. Medusa, on the other hand, is more forgiving. As the ancient myth goes, she was a woman with snakes for hair who was so hideous that anyone who looked at her would instantly turn to stone. If you talk to her NPC, it'll lead to Perseus, a demigod who was a son of Zeus. A king from Greek mythology wanted to marry Perseus' mother, but he was protective of her and said no, so the king sent Perseus on a quest to kill Medusa, knowing he would die. Instead, Perseus received help from the gods and beheaded Medusa. Now, the reason this story is important is because Fortnite's Medusa puts an incredible spin on it. She claims the story of her being a monstrous gorgon are lies to make mortals scared of her, when in fact she's only trying to help us and protect humanity from the wrath of the gods. Not only did she survive Perseus' attack in this version of the story, he's the one who saved her and is one of her many allies helping us stand up to the gods. We'll meet him later, but a much more important ally is Aphrodite. She's the daughter of Zeus and approaches Medusa to offer help in defeating her father. Medusa wants to trust her, but can't, as she's a god just like the ones we're fighting. Aphrodite decides she'll try and persuade other gods to join her in rebelling against Zeus and his plans to destroy humanity. And this is where Artemis comes into play. While she hates mortals as much as anyone, she has doubts about Zeus and says that his desire to destroy us is dishonorable at its heart. Now, there is one character who is super mysterious. As we approach a scrying pool, we establish communication with an unknown voice nicknamed the Oracle.
You must prove the worth of humanity to Zeus and the guardians of Olympus before the skies turn black.
What this means is that we need to train and prove ourselves if we want to get the confidence of Zeus's enemies. Humanity needs a true leader to protect them from the gods, and according to the Oracle, that leader might be us. So we head to the underworld facing off against Zeus's brother Hades to truly show off our power. Then we travel to Mount Olympus, where we battle another one of Zeus's allies, Ares, the god of war. He is even more angry to lose the battle, and now you've got the attention of the most powerful beings.
Zeus's closest allies have seen you fight, and you're stronger than they thought. I see your path more clearly now.
It is here where the Oracle finally sees the future, revealing a chilling prophecy that teases the outcome of Season 2.
Darkened skies, choking dust, hope lost, and found again.
While choking dust and dark skies could refer to an upcoming apocalypse, it also could be foreshadowing a volcano, and this ties to a long-lost character who we thought was dead. In one of the biggest wildcards of the story, this battle between myths and mortals will make its way for Midas. He was the founder of a secret crime syndicate known as Shadow during Chapter 2, Season 2, and was one of the greediest people out there. Doing anything for extra money, he began searching for the treasures of an ancient king, except this greed became his downfall. He didn't just unearth wealth, the king skeleton transferred a curse onto him. The curse of the golden touch. Now, anything Midas touched would instantly turn to solid gold, a perfect punishment for someone so materialistic. Except this was all based on ancient Greek myth, the story of the real King Midas. In the original, he was so obsessed with wealth that he begged the gods to let him turn anything to gold. They granted him the Midas touch, and he slowly realized this wasn't a blessing, it was a curse. He touched flowers and they lost their smell, food was impossible to eat, and then the worst punishment of all. His daughter enters the room, hugging him and turning into a golden statue. Now, our version of Midas was punished in a much different way. He spent most of his time trying to take down the imagined order and almost saved us from being trapped in the loop. After pushing back the storm, the IO retaliated by creating a wall of water, flooding the map, and destroying Midas's plans. In the aftermath, he tries to swim to safety, only for a shark to set its eyes on him. At the time, the creator of the story claimed he was in the loop and this was just a snapshot, which sounded fine, but it left Midas' story unfinished. We had no idea what actually happened to him or where this would go. For the next couple of years, we will get countless hints and teasers from Midas' old gang, but nothing ever came from it. Sometimes they would even act like he had a scheme that was about to be enacted. Fortnite has now confirmed the shark bite was canon and hugely important to Midas' new story. After being eaten, his soul was taken down to the underworld where he was judged by Hades. For reasons unclear, Hades not only kept him trapped in the underworld, but he could be found in his own special prison cell. When looking inside, we spot a golden reboot card, likely what'll bring his soul back to the real world, allowing him to plan his escape. Upon hearing of his return, Midas' old crew began to meet up again. Marigold has long searched for any sign of his whereabouts, and she's the one who called the former members of Ghost and Shadow, bringing the gang back together. Brutus has taken over Midas' crew, and after Marigold's call, he's wondering, is the old boss coming back? Even Tiantina and Sky answered the call. It's been a long time since she thought about her former crew, but she has to wonder what's coming. So what will happen when Midas does escape? The plan is already coming to fruition, and once he breaks free, he'll have a new form. Ever since his fall from grace, he's been biding his time in the underworld, but he is not the type you could keep prisoner for long, and a new king is ready to rise. Introducing Ascendant Midas. Much more faithful to the original myth, he will finally claim his title as the Golden King. He'll also get revenge on the shark that ate him in the first place with a harpoon straight through the stomach. One of the strangest parts about his return involves Kato Thorn from last chapter. This blood-hungry vampire was also a part-time collector, gathering artifacts using a time machine. Last year, while Midas was still missing, we learned that one of these artifacts was his severed hand. We assumed it was just an Easter egg, but with the reveal of Ascendant Midas, he now has a prosthetic arm connecting all of the dots. So what about his daughter Jules? Well, she's also back on the island, hoping to see what opportunities arrive with the godly newcomers. She was never part of Midas' old crew, instead working for the other team. But now she's hearing rumors of his return, so will she help? Only time will tell, but a quest belonging to the storyteller has been puzzling a lot of fans this season, as it claims Midas has turned Jules to gold and found a way to revive her. But this actually isn't the case. As we know, this was the original Greek myth, and Ascendant Midas states, "In these myths they tell of me, they never quite get the details right, just like Medusa." This is Fortnite's way of keeping the real-life mythology in the storyline, but also changing it to match the characters we know and love. In this version, Jules was never turned to gold. In fact, she's about to help Midas control his touch. Thanks to her engineering abilities, she's working on gauntlets that'll let him use his power at will. While Jules and Midas know they can trust each other, can they trust their former members? Once he escapes, Midas begins investigating each member of Ghost and Shadow, and something unexpected is revealed. After looking into Brutus, who he left in charge, Midas realizes his loyalties might be with someone else. He finds recording devices in the yacht and possible evidence that Brutus has been stealing money from the group. So he confronts him. It turns out the bugs belong to Hope, and Brutus is happier than ever to become Midas' right-hand man again. He is one of the most loyal of them all. Once the rest of the crew has been reunited, it'll be time for the great Marigold yacht heist, a final effort to get off the island once and for all. Midas will complete his escape by stealing the yacht, letting him get away from the wrath of Zeus and Hades, who will be furious that he escaped the underworld. One thing we're looking forward to is that sometime this season, volcanoes will cover the map in ash and molten rock. This could be the prophecy the Oracle has been warning us about, and while we don't want all that buildup to be for an LTM, it's unlikely to be a full-on live event. Assuming it's not a Midas teaser, let's talk about what the Oracle's prophecy could also mean for us. Darkened skies and choking dust does sound like the fallout of a huge battle, possibly a final showdown between the myths and the mortals, as the power of gods on both sides leaves destruction everywhere. It also leaves us wondering what exactly was unleashed from Pandora's box. For something that's meant to hold all the evil in existence, all it did was bring Greek mythology to the island. Do you think this prophecy could be talking about the evil finally showing itself? Maybe we'll have to hold fire in our war with Zeus to face this enemy together. This is the start of a fresh storyline for Chapter 5. If you find any clues or secrets, make sure to comment them down below. There's a lot we have to figure out. It's been Tommy, keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.